everyone. My name is Steve Van Diest, and I am the co-host of the Sharpen Podcast, brought to you by Acumen. Acumen is a multi-state business marketplace community. We help business owners grow their top line, optimize their bottom line, and enrich their storyline. That's kind of some of the talking phrases, but really we just take crazy business owners, we put them in a room together and build a community around them, and to really help them excel in all they do. Today, I'm super excited. We have an expert that I think actually can flesh out really what Acumen is. It's about people, it's about process, it's about all those things. It's about a pivot in life and starting a business. So Drew, tell us about yourself, why you can speak to these things, but give us a little bit more of the heart and soul of how you got to this point today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Steve. It's really great to just sit down and talk with you a little bit. We started Revflow Growth Partners through it's a couple of years process of evolving and trying to figure out how can we best serve business owners as they are trying to grow their business and do what they do best. I actually come from close to 20 years in ministry. So I grew up in the Amish country, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and then went to school at Penn State and went on into seminary at St. Louis. From there, I had a ministry job working with teens and their families in Miami, Florida for 6 years. So this country boy was doing ministry in Miami, which was very fun. Had to learn a lot about culture and how do you care for people in their world rather than bringing them into yours. And then I most recently had a job out here in Colorado Springs, working at a church doing very similar stuff with high school kids, junior high kids, families. And the way that I'm wired really is to think through how can we, and the big question in the back of my head was always, how can we care for the most amount of people possible with the time that we have available to us? And that always drove me to think through systems. How do we work through people rather than just try to figure out how much can I do in a 24-hour period? How do we develop people? How do we take advantage of different tools at our disposal? How can we magnify what we're doing? And so that was always kind of something that I was building in the background. Little did I know that transfers pretty well into the business world. And so when I transitioned into having a normal job in 2020 during COVID years when everybody was the most sane, I was trying to figure out how can I help the company that I'm working with do the best that they can with the things that they have available to them and the time at their disposal. And it got me thinking again about systems and processes. And so I spent a lot of time in sales. I loved selling. I grew up, my parents actually owned a greeting card company when I was a kid. And in order to make ends meet and get groceries on the table and pay the bills, my dad would drop me off at a local farmer market where we would have a spot, and instead of watermelons, we would sell greeting cards. My mom was the artist and my dad was the salesperson, and it ended up being a nationwide company. It's I'm sure you've heard of it, Expressions Greetings.
Oh yeah.
Hallmark ended up buying it, but it started in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Me working at we made the cards in a tobacco warehouse, and I would sell them at the farmers market on the weekends. But all that being said, like that was a natural thing for me to jump into sales. I really love people. I like helping them succeed. And real sales is about helping people. It's not about duping people.
Hey, I didn't ask you this before, but how did you didn't grow up Amish, but you grew up in the Amish community. Did the Amish community and the people and the community did that influence? Was that part of because you were exposed to that, and the greeting card is a community building product and service.
Not necessarily. I just said that as more as to give the setting of the background, very conservative area, very conservative culture. So even though my family wasn't Amish, they were around, and we lived in a farming community. We had to drive through a cornfield to get to my neighborhood. And so, there's a lot of conservative thinking and all of that behind where I grew
Yeah.
up. So,
Now,
um,
down to this process, people, relationship, business owners. One, you're a business owner. You actually sit on one of the Acumen teams here in Colorado, the Summit team. What is some of the biggest myth between relationships, systems, process? Because you provide this to companies, but what's the biggest hang up as you sell into these companies that a lot of our listeners are business owners that they may just misunderstand about process, people, systems, etc.?
yeah, I think when you think about systems, you think about a lot of people think about the easy button, and if you're drawn to the easy button, you're drawn to the wrong thing, really, because really, business and all of life is about relationships. I mean, you may not get it now, but eventually, on your deathbed, you're going to realize the only thing that mattered was relationships. Or they think about it's the easy button, and that's not what I want. I want to be about relationships, and so bridging that gap to help people see actually this isn't an easy button. This is a way in which we can um, make you more efficient at what you're really great at and help you become the best that you can be in how you care for people. We've all been to the McDonald's. I mean, you and I grew up going to McDonald's and
I
like,
was a Burger
you
King.
know,
I was a Burger King.
okay, Burger King,
I like the
McDonald's,
Whopper,
whatever.
but growing up in Southern California, I'm very partial to In and Out too.
Sure, sure, but you go now and you got the kiosks there, and all the people are like behind walls. You don't even see people if you don't want to. And to me, that like drops all the nostalgia of it because like the people and the service was originally why we were excited to be there, and the food was, McDonald's is McDonald's, but still, like you take people away, and it becomes this interaction that you could take it or leave it, and people are afraid of that, and I think I am too. I don't. Nobody wants that,
Mm.
but there are systems that will help people actually get you in front of people rather than keep you away from them. So I think that that's the one of the biggest hurdles that people have as we start thinking through how can we integrate automation systems, um, AI even,
Mhm.
because they do think about it as I don't want to become that McDonald's that just is
Just
disconnected.
there's no
Yeah.
soul. Yeah, when I've seen you work with other companies, you are creating systems that actually produce more value, more growth, more energy. Used a word, and at first it hit me negatively. So we work through people. Um, that might have a connotation of we work through them because we're just using and abusing them, and we're
Yeah.
throwing them behind us. Why'd you use that phraseology? We work through people.
I think like you I think we want to take um and amplify what we're good at by helping people be the best at what they're good at. And so um you could be the best plumber in the world, but only wrench on so many houses. But if you can impact 30 other plumbers with your skill set and the way you care for your clients, then you're going to have the ability to touch that many more houses.
Mhm.
And that's the way we think about it in ministry. We wanted to train and develop people so that it wasn't just me ministering to 20 kids, it was me ministering to 20 adults who were there for, as a result, ministering to another 20 each of them. And so then it just multiplies. I mean, Jesus did the same thing.
It makes me think of Paul when he says to Timothy, and the things you heard me say, and trust to reliable men who will be qualified to teach others. So that now you've given me some color to working through people is actually we're building systems and intentionality that we need the people, but can we
Yeah.
maximize them and their systems and process and what God's called them to be in their business role? Maybe they're a frontline worker, a mid-level manager, or even the owner, but we
Yeah.
work through them to maximize the product and deliverable that you're doing. Um, what is the when you first do your assessment, you jump into a company, they say, hey, we want to engage with Revflow. What is the thing that you've done this now in the last 5 years was the first, oh my goodness, I can't believe companies are doing this?
It I find new ones almost every day.
Okay.
Um, like, and I guess I can only speak to the ones that come to mind. I don't know what the first one is or what, but there's so many things that are done manually that can be automated. Um, like for instance, I have one client that I'm working with, and it's an individual's job to review all of the W-2 updates that were input on the web or online or whatever. And then they've got to download those PDFs. And legally, they have to have a backup just in case the first system goes down. But these are updated so often. They've got a couple hundred people on staff that the person literally spends half of their week checking to make sure that all the PDFs are backed up correctly, that there's not duplicates just by creating an automated system that clears up that mess. I mean, you free up, I don't know, like 20 hours times 52 weeks. I mean, the cost savings is tremendous. And then what can that person do with that time? The question isn't like how can we get rid of that person? It's how can we better use that person?
I've got a client, and you just spoken to one new client in our Acumen world. He's actually on your team, and he's got a gal. They're manually inputting all their orders from 100 different customers that come in almost every other week. That's a person really skilled to lead and organize and operate, and then will probably be called upon to do a lot of customer service. But because of 20 to 30 hours a week, are manually taking orders either through the phone or, if the older people remember, through fax, manually typing those in. So they're actually creating a whole new system. It's not brain surgery, but you go, wow. Now I get it. He bought a 25-year-old company. And so I get the process of change, but it's valuing that worker to go, you're so much more qualified to touch humans, to interact with other humans instead of just manual entering. So I love that. Okay. So right now, when I first met you, I thought, oh, this is an AI guy. He does AI stuff. And it's almost like saying, no, this is an internet company. They have a website. And so AI, it's really sexy right now. And if you're ever on YouTube or even commercials on social media, all these people are selling you courses on how to do AI. What is misunderstood as for entrepreneurs and business owners about AI right now? Now, granted, you're going to say this, and this might drop 2 months from now. So you got to trusting Drew, thinking through what is the misperception now. We're filming this in late January of 2026, so maybe this drops in 4 or 5 weeks. But tell us what's being misunderstood about AI.
I think there's a lot of things being misunderstood, and it's all being promoted by people selling things. So, the first, if you can just harness this AI thing, you'll get so much farther in business and next week. And like, I've been studying this stuff for years now, and that simply is not true. Like, you don't have the time to learn everything there is that could help you get to that level, because you're running your business, and you're not going to pay someone internally to learn that, because they'll get so skilled and be so valuable that like you won't be able to keep them. Um, so I think what's really important is figuring out what is the best use case for you and finding someone that can help you uncover that so that you don't spin your wheels on a million different things that potentially could help you, but you really have a good playbook of, here's the 3 things that we think that we know will help you. And here's the 70,000 things that you don't need to worry about. Because most people, that's the second thing, most people are worried that their competitors are taking strides ahead of them because they don't know what they don't know. But the fact is, like pretty much everyone is in that situation as well. And so you really need a guide almost to uncover, all right, here's what's actually possible. And here's some crazy things that nobody really knows how to do, and we could work on it together. So that is what we do. So
Now,
when I
but
work
there's,
with a client, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I hear this, and then I go, wait, what you do, I need that trusted quarterback, offensive coordinator, that guide. But how as a business owner, I've got 50 employees, and I've got 65 social media things hitting my LinkedIn or my Facebook, my YouTube channel, and I've got 6 phone calls that are coming from some guy pitching me things. How do I know which guide to choose? Because
Yeah.
I don't have a degree in cybersecurity and in computer science and marketing. Who do I choose? So I know you'd say choose me, and I advise a lot of people too because I know you and I
Yeah.
trust you as a person. But unpack, how do I find that guy that's not just pitching me all of it, but he knows what's best for me?
So most people are pitching like the one or two or three things that they do really well. Like you do this one thing because they're basically scaling a solution and they're just applying it to everyone.
Hmm.
And what we've done at Revflow is intentionally gone against the grain and we've said we don't want to scale. We actually just want to help each individual person with their unique case uncover what's the best playbook for them. And so even you've told me, hey, you should do like 10 of these, or you could if you wanted to. And my thought was, I don't want to do that because it's more enjoyable for me to see someone succeed than anything else really. And so I'll only take on two at a like per month or every 6 weeks or something like that. And my process is we look at, we do interviews. We really get to understand the business, who the ideal client profile is, what the sales process has been up until now, what systems they're using. We look at all of the stakeholders on the team to determine where they are getting frustrated. And then we come up with a phased approach that you could just do yourself. You don't need us per se. A lot of people say we don't want to figure this out. You just do it for us, and then I have a team that implements all of that stuff. But literally, I don't think that there's been a solution that I've sold twice because everyone is different and everybody needs different things because God's really made us different.
Yeah.
And so not only are industries different, but every leader is different and they need support in different ways. So I think you got to be careful with anybody saying, hey, this is just buy this product and it's going to make all your dreams come true. It's baloney. You need some custom built for you.
You know, and I think maybe that's what's special about you. And if I had to summarize all that, it's your ability to listen to the person where they're in their journey of business, marketplace, product, or service, and then to help them customize a journey. Could be maybe because you were in foreign ministry. And I think back in the day when we were younger in full time ministry, and I'm like you, it was a little bit more cookie cutter. I've got this product, a tool, this Bible study method that if you do this, you'll become this. But the
Yeah.
older that you and I got in ministry, even my post full time vocational ministry days, it became more about listening to the person and trusting God to infuse. And so maybe God's going to infuse this piece or they
Yeah.
work on this piece, but it's really what's making you skilled. Maybe I'm giving you too much credit from your old career into your new career, but I think there's an ability.
Yeah.
I had to summarize that listening is what the business owner should go. This contractor comes into my world. Are they actually listening to me? And so I don't know if we froze. We did. It will hold us, and I'll just have them edit it in the middle. But yeah, my main
Yeah.
that feeds all my mesh network is red. You would never know I invited an IT guy here to break my house, but now I'm running on a HubSpot or a hotspot. But I'm going to go back to
Okay.
where we were in that edit. But I think I've got to say that there's an attachment to your ministry world, to your business world. The key piece is that you've got the skill to listen. So I would encourage business owners who are listening as they're engaging with contractors, do they actually listen? Tell me of some of the lessons that you've learned. That's maybe I'm making a far stretch, attaching your ministry, full-time ministry days to your full-time marketplace days, owning a company. What are some lessons that you learned in that transition from that career to this career?
I appreciate you giving me credit. I don't know that it's all deserved, but at the end of the day, I think my mission. So yeah, listening is important. And I think it's a critical part of it, and really making them feel like they're the center of the universe while I'm working with them.
I love that. And as we wrap
Yeah.
up, though, that allows me to summarize and go, oh, wait, yeah. Because if it's about systems and people, and it's not working on top of people or working in the negative way through people because we killed them and we just destroyed them, it's your ability to care for people, and it's a deeper calling because what Jesus has done in you. So I appreciate your wisdom, and then how to handle all the confusion of business. What is Drew doing these days to sharpening himself, challenging himself, and inspiring himself?
Try to surround myself with people that not only being a part of Acumen, frankly, is a big part of that because they're great people, they're great business owners, but at the end of the day, um, they're really pushing each other to be better men and women
Mhm.
who follow Jesus, and so I think that's a big part of it. My time with you as a coach, and I've got another coach that works with me there. You guys are always challenging me. And then failure.
Mhm.
Failure is great
I don't know
because
if we have.
it's a really good
Oh my God.
really good tool.
Yeah, there's that. Maybe you and I just start the failure podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got some stories. One, I think I'm going to add on your wife. I've met your wife, and I can see how you guys value each other. You're separate, but you encourage each other. You're together. I would assume she inspires you as well. And so,
Oh, for sure.
yes, you become a
Yeah, that,
client.
that goes without saying.
Yeah, you became a client last year. I'd say you're also a great friend. I think you inspire and challenge me and sharpen me. And so I'm grateful for you sharing this time. I'm looking forward to what people are going to say and hear and listen. Where can we find Drew?
Well, you can go to revflowpartners.com. You'll be able to. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Revflowpartners.io. Edit that later.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not .com. It's .io. It's because we deal with systems. That's why the IO.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, revflowpartners.io is where you can find us. You can also find me on LinkedIn. Um, Happy to chat with you. Excited to connect with whoever's interested.
You reside down in Colorado Springs, correct? So
Correct. Yeah, but we
awesome.
work with people all over the country. So
Awesome. Well, thank you again for your time. And to the rest of you, if you're going, what is this acumen thing that he speaks of? It is. It's communities in Phoenix, in St. Louis, Kansas City, in Colorado, in the Front Range. It is a place for business owners, entrepreneurs, people in business leadership positions, executive coaching. You can find us at www.acumenimpact.com, not IO, not like revflowpartners.io. And visit our website. Check out upcoming events, happy hours, good people happy hours in all these cities. And if you're interested, reach out to us. We'd love to be part of your journey. Thanks again, Drew.
yeah, you bet. Thank you guys for having me.